let's take a look at how to use indirect object pronouns. And indirect object pronouns will answer one of two questions. The first question is to whom, and the second question could be for whom. Okay? The other thing we need to take into account is indirect object pronouns tell us who receives the direct object in a sentence. Okay? Now let's write our indirect object pronouns here. So me, te, le, nos, and les. Okay? Now in English, I'm going to write first to or for. So me means to me or for me. Te means to you or for you. And le could mean several things. It could mean him, her, you formal. It could also mean it. Okay, so to him, to her, for her, etc., etc. Nos could mean us, so to us or for us. And les could mean to them, or remember the ustedes form, so this would be you all. Okay? Now, before I write a few examples, I'm going to make a box over here. And in this box, I'm going to write some common verbs that require indirect object pronouns. So we have the verb dar, decir, escribir, regalar, devolver, enseñar, mandar, preguntar, and comprar. Okay, so these are some common verbs that require the indirect object pronouns. Now let's write a few examples. So in this first example, I'm going to use the verb over here, comprar. Okay, so I'm going to write me, novio or novia, compra las flores a mí. Okay, so maybe your boyfriend or your girlfriend is romantic and they buy you flowers. So when we look at this sentence, the first thing we're going to do is identify the direct object. And the direct object is las flores. Okay, how about we just quickly draw some beautiful flowers over here. So those are stems, and maybe you receive roses, so those are flowers. Okay, now the direct object is las flores, so that's what's being received by the indirect object or the indirect object pronoun. So who receives the flores? Well, at the end here it says a mí. Okay, and so this is considered the indirect object. Now that means I have to select me because I am receiving the flores, and so I'm going to put that me before the conjugated verb compra. And so now the sentence says mi novio or mi novia me compra las flores a mí. Okay, now let's take a look at one more example. And let's write the sentence. I'm going to write it down here, okay? So let's write, yo voy a Yo voy a escribir un email a ustedes. Okay, so I'm using this verb escribir. And the first thing we do, we have to identify the direct object, which is un email. That's what's being received. And the person receiving the email is a ustedes, and so this is the indirect object. And that means I'm going to select les. Okay, now we are going to write that les in one of two locations. In this first option, we're going to write it before the conjugated verb voy. So now we have yo les voy a escribir un email a ustedes. The second option is yo voy a escribir un email a ustedes. And so now I'm going to write this le here. I'm going to attach it to the infinitive escribir. Okay? So let's go back to this first sentence here, or the first example. Mi novio or mi novia me compra las flores a mí. Okay? So it answers the question, for whom, right? So for whom are the flowers? Well, the flowers are for me, okay? And always remember that this me here has to agree with a mí, okay? So there has to be agreement. If we look at these two sentences down here, they answer the question, to whom? Okay, so to whom am I going to write an email? Well, I'm going to write the email a ustedes. Okay, and once again, les has to agree with a ustedes, and this le has to agree with ustedes. Okay, take a look at this video, and if you have any questions regarding the indirect object pronouns, let me know. Hasta luego.